Hello, pet parents. This is Melody Austin from PetFed India, your host for today. And as promised, we are back with another insightful live session for you all. Have you ever imagined your dog participating in a dog show? Are you looking to turn your dog into a winner show dog one day, but still unsure where to start from? If you find yourself in this category, not to worry, you've come to the right place. Today's topic of discussion is expert advice on winner dog training, where we will discuss the different classes of dog obedience shows in India, criteria for participation, and how can one start preparing for these shows. I would like to welcome our experts for today, Mr. Amrut S. Hiranya, popularly known as Amrut Dogguru, India's only dog behaviorist from Unitec, New Zealand, and Mr. Manjunath M.R., dog behaviorist and member of Kennel Club of India. Hi, Amrut. How are you today?
Good evening. Doing much better. Wasn't great the last few days, but then yes,
I guess we're
back
all
back to normal.
in that similar scenario,
Right.
but great. And want to wish everybody, a happy Pongal, happy Makar Sankranti, whatever you're celebrating, Lori. It's a new year, so I want to wish everybody that prosperity, health, wealth, happiness as always. So, for those of you who don't know him yet, Amrut is a professional dog trainer and a former consultant to the police dog squad of Karnataka. His other accolades include first Indian to complete canine behavior studies from Unitec, New Zealand, first in Asia to achieve Australian Dog Whisperer Award, first Asian to deliver a TED Talk on canine behavior, and he has also been a consultant to the Railway Protection Force. Hi, Mr. Manjunath. Welcome to the live chat. How are you today?
Good evening, Melody. I'm doing good. How's it going?
Do we have Manjunath?
Good
Oh,
evening,
we have a
Melody. Can you hear
problem.
me? I can hear you. How's it going? Melody, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. Manjunath, can you hear us?
I can hear you. How's it going?
Yeah, great, great. I hope you're doing well as well.
Good, good. Pretty good.
Awesome, awesome. So, Mr. Manjunath is a dog behaviorist certified from San Jose, California. He is the founder member of the Obedience and Agility Club of India and also a life member of the Kennel Club of India. He's also a member of International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants and a licensed ring steward from KCI for obedience, trials, and all breed shows. Apologies for that. Lastly, he is the first show official to be invited overseas for stewarding from India in the World Dog Show. All those are watching us, please feel free to drop in your queries in the comments section below, and we will surely answer them if you want to connect with the experts. You can contact them on Instagram at dogguru.in, that's for Amrut, and M_R_Manjunath for Manjunath. And of course, like always, we're running an interesting trivia contest during this live session. We will be asking the audience three questions throughout the session, and three lucky winners who answer all these three questions correctly will win a gift hamper from Purina Pro Plan. So sit tight and stay tuned to this chat as the trivia questions will be announced in the middle of this entire 1 hour session for you to answer in the comments below. In fact, we've got a lot of people already messaging in. So, all of you who are joining us right now, we're here to discuss the topic expert advice on winner dog training. So, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments section below. And of course, we will answer them for you. So, okay, then, Amrut and Manjunath, firstly, would like to address a few commonly asked questions to help us understand more about dog shows. So, I'm going to start with Manjunath first. So, can you brief us about the history of dog shows in India and when they started, and also what are the different categories in which a dog can participate?
Okay, so coming to the history, there were several established kennel clubs in India during the British colonial period, starting from 1857, including in Kunur, Mysore, Hyderabad, and Calcutta. These clubs were following procedures followed in the Indian kennel clubs of Kennel Club of United Kingdom. Those rules and regulations we used to follow earlier. So the Kennel Club of India was established in 1896, and the India's first ever dog show was held in Lahore in 1896. Those days it was a part of Hindustan. So this was conducted under the patronage of the English elite as well as the Indian aristocracy. When the Indian subcontinent received, the independence in 1947, India and Lahore, were bifurcated, and it belongs to, Pakistan. So for the viewers who are not aware of the Kennel Club of India, I would like to tell them that the Kennel Club of India is a registry of purebred dogs in India, as well as maintaining a registry of pedigrees. The club promotes and sanctions events for purebred dogs, including annual dog shows, specialty shows, and obedience trials. So the Kennel Club of India is a member of the Federation Cynologic International, which we call it as FCI. And the second question of yours was the categories. So in India, under the Kennel Club of Indian guidelines, we conduct three categories, three types of shows. One is the all breed shows, second is the specialty shows, and third is obedience trials. Coming to the all breed shows, these are the shows, are confirmation shows, or the events I can say, that are held for more than 354 breeds and varieties of dogs recognized by the FCI, also listed under the all breed or the group of shows, or shows limited to one of those 10 FCI groups usually. But as we have our local breeds, which they are not inducted in FCI still, but we are conducting as 11th group for our own indigenous breeds like Mudol Hound, Caravan Hounds, and Chippy Prai, and so on. This is one category of shows we run with. Coming to the second category, we have specialty shows. So these shows are events limited to a single breed. For example, only Labradors, German Shepherds. So some specialty shows may be held in conjunction with an all breed events, while others can be standalone events, depending on those chapters. So there are about 10 breed specialty clubs in India, namely German Shepherds, Labradors, Indian breeds, Golden Retrievers, Rottweiler, Beagle, Pug, Dachshunds, Great Danes, and Boxers. And we have one more kind of a shows which we conduct is obedience trials. So an obedience trial is a dog sport in which a dog must perfectly execute a predefined set of tasks when directed to do so by his handler, according to the or everything according to the Kennel Club of India rules and regulations. So the basic objective of the obedience trials is to recognize dogs that have been trained to behave in the home, in the public places, or in the presence of other dogs in a manner that will reflect credit on the sport of obedience trials at all the times and all the conditions. So, training a dog to participate in KC obedience trials increases a dog's understanding and reliability in responding to commands such as very basic commands such as sit, down, stay, come, heel, recall, all those stuffs. So, this is all about the three varieties of shows we have in India. I got into KC regulations.
That's wonderful. Thank you. So very clearly explained. So, and we've got so many people who have already asked, the kind of breeds that can participate in dog shows. We'll come to those questions in just a bit. But moving over to Amrut. So, what are dog obedience shows and who all can participate in them?
See, anybody whose dog is KCI certified, they could be a participant on the obedience shows. Obedience show is classified into several classes. Say, starting from the class 1, that's for the pre-beginners, where the dog would be tested by the judge to walk on heel with a lead, heel free heel, that's without a leash, recall from sit or the down position, and we would be checking the same sit for 1 minute and down for 2 minutes with the handler in sight, as in the handler standing in front of the dogs. We need not have to have one, there could be more than one in the ring when they're doing that, and this credits them up to 75 points. These points lead them to get into their certifications of championships and other things later. C2 would be for beginners, where it is heel on lead, heel free, recall from sit and down position, retrieve any article. Handler may use their own article, sit for 1 minute, handler inside, sit for 2 minutes, handler inside, and this would go up to 100 points. This particular class 2 for beginners. So we have class 1, class 2 beginners. Class 3 is no ways, where there's same heel on leash, heel free, recall from sit from the handler's position, retrieve a dumbbell. This again could be used by the kennel club, a dumbbell given by the kennel club, or the handler may use their own. Sit for 1 minute inside, down for 1 minute inside. That again goes up to 100 points. Then comes the class 4 or class A. Here only on heel on lead. Temperament test is also done here, to stand far away from the dog and heel free. So these sort of things. And retrieving a dumbbell, same thing. Scent discrimination is a big addition here, where we would be giving them a few uh, handkerchiefs, things like cloths that is sterile, and one would have a scent of one particular person. So the dog is supposed to go pick only that up on the command and come back and confirm the same. Class 5 or the class B, most of them is very similar, other than what we spoke till now is sit and stay or down and stay in sight. Here it would be out of sight. So that's where the handler could get the dog to be in down position. Handlers asked to move out of the site, and it's not, again, like I told you, not one. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dogs, 6 dogs sitting there, and all the handlers have gone out of sight, despite the fact of all the viewers who are making a number of noises, or there could be other rings that are happening, could be double handling, shouting, could be toys, the squeaky noise of other toys in and around the place, and also a dog sitting next to two other dogs, sitting in between two other dogs, not knowing who they are, who the other dogs are, should sit down, stay there with the handler not anywhere visible. So that's a bigger challenge when it comes to this particular class. And scent discrimination here would be with the help of the judge. So there would be the judge's scent put. It's not the owner's scent like the previous one, or the handler's scent, or anybody else. It's going to be the judge's scent, where we would be doing that. Class 6, C6 or class 6 would be again out of sight for 2 minutes for the sit or the down, and scent discrimination done with several other points. This is where 300 points come in, as in you would be giving a scent of different people to the handkerchiefs there, and one particular scent of either the judge or whoever the judge select is given to the dog to smell, and it has to detect that alone. So this goes up to 300 points with the C6. So C6 is basically also normally understood as the champion class. A dog in obedience C1, C2 up to C6, and then it's like the champion class. How we have in the breed, it shows Mr. Manjunath would be a better person to say how they get to the M class, if I'm not wrong, the championship. That way, in obedience, C6 would be the champion class.
Wow. I mean, that's great the way you've explained everything. And I hope for all those who want to put their dogs into, training to win these cups, they can take all these tips that you have given us right now, Amrut. In fact, Mamta, thank you. She says, Mamta Bhatnagar, hello to both the experts. Interesting topic. Thank you so much for that. I'll take the next question, ask Manjunath the next question, and then probably, I would like a line from both of you, because we have a lot of breeds that people have messaged in. So, we can get one-liners from you, and then we can give out the first trivia question, because we have like golden retrievers and beagles, and I think both of you can share what exactly they can start with training for these competitions. So, Manjunath, how are the winners determined in a dog show? And also, can you tell us about Obedience Dog of the Year, and how does one evaluate its winner? So basically, it's all about, the winning aspect of competitions.
Okay, so your question is how the winners are determined in a dog show? Is that correct, Melody?
That's right. That's right.
So I would like to explain, all the three categories, like how they are, judged. So in orbit shows, what happens is each breed will be assessed based on the respective breed standard. Like standard is written, it's a written description of the ideal specimen of that particular breed. So standards are written, maintained, and owned by the FCI, which is the parent body for us. So generally relating from the to the function, like what exactly the breed is meant to do. So the original function that the dog was bred to perform, most standard describe the desired general appearances, movement, temperament, and specific physical traits such as height, weight, coat and coat color, eye shape, ear shape, ear placements. For example, German Shepherd ear should be stand upright, whereas the gradients, it's floppy. So all these are being standard already. There is a standard. So, and also coming to the feet, tail set, how a dog should carry a tail. Beagle should carry always a straight tail, like whereas the pug should carry a curly tail. So all those standards the judges will be evaluating. This is how the judges will evaluate each and every aspect of that particular breed and whichever is closest to the standard, that breed will be moving ahead for the next competitions or the next winnings. Like for example, we give it championship class, then they come for the best of breed, then best in group, then best in shows. This is how it happens in all breed shows. In coming to the obedience trials, like as Amrut mentioned, the dog and the handler will perform various predefined exercises, which will be evaluated and scored by a judge based on their performance. This is completely performance oriented. So there is no beauty show or confirmation. This is completely performance, and any breed can participate. Even our Indian stray dog can participate in this one. Coming to the specialty shows evaluation, these are restricted for dogs of a specific breed. For example, we conduct a German Shepherd specialty. Only shepherds, German Shepherds, can participate here. So specialty show judges also look for the standards, but more in detail. For example, what exactly the German Shepherds were bred for? They were bred for herding. So how suitable that particular breed or that particular exhibit is suitable to herding purposes. So this will be evaluated in specialty shows. I can say there is no better place to learn about your breed than at a specialty show. In particularly the national specialty show, which happens once in a year for all those 10 breeds which we have in a country. So which is usually held, in the by the parent club. This is where dedicated fans of the breed meet together year after year, sharing their knowledge, passion, and bringing their best dogs to compete, and also the best line pedigree dogs.
Thank you for that. So you're saying any breed can participate because we've got a couple of them have messaged in 6-month-old male beagle from Diksha Sharma. We've also got Jagrati Bhandari who says, I have a 1-year-old golden retriever. Also, Ayush Nandi has an 8-month-old still in training. Indie mix, of course. So any breeds can participate?
In the mix, yes, any breed can participate, but only pedigree dogs are allowed in all breed shows. Whereas in obedience, even an indie mix, stray dogs, all everyone, all the dogs can participate in obedience
Wonderful,
shows.
wonderful. I hope that answers your question. Also, before I get to the trivia question, I found a very interesting question from Angish Baumik. Should I train my dog by a dog trainer or should I do it by myself for these dog shows? I would like both of you to, answer these questions of one line from each of you. Amrut, maybe you can give us, throw some light on that.
You must train your dog yourself, but you need a dog trainer to guide you how to do it. That's where, in the last 1 decade, like Mr. Manjunath, me, myself, and we have few other behaviorists who would help owners train their dogs. A dog would best performance of a dog comes out when trained by the owner, particularly one, and that's the reason for training, because you want your dog to obey you. So if I put the question back, do you want the dog to obey you or the trainer? If the trainer, then get it trained by the trainer. If your dog should obey you, then you got to do the needful. But yes, how to do it, what to do, it's always better done under supervision and the help of a trainer.
Awesome. I hope that answers your question. Manjunath, would you like to add to that, to what Amrut
That
just
is
said?
perfect. Yeah, I completely agree with Amrut. So first, is that building a bond. Trainer will be there, come for 2 3 months, he'll go away. But you cannot build a strong bond with your dog unless you truly understand how he or she perceives the world around her or around him. But to see this, we must learn. I can say we must understand their common body language. Like when they are stressed, for example, when they are discomfort, they will yawn. They'll start lip licking. Their body's freezing, head turn. And for example, if they are curious and if they're anticipatory, then they will do like head cocked and front paw lifting the front paw, mouth closed. These are the behavior they exhibit. And when there is a displacement language, we call it as when the dog sneezing, shaking. So all those things I'm mentioning because we should understand our pets, and definitely we can understand better, but definitely there is a guidance required from a trainer where we can help you out in training your dogs, and you can take it from there.
As always, expert is always required, even though we do have that bond with our pets. But yeah, when we get to these training, it's definitely required to have the professional expertise come in hand. So I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to take a break. And that's it, because we're going to ask a trivia question right now. So I hope you're all ready. Our very first trivia question for this live session. And here is your question. What is the basis of judging different breed dogs in an all breed dog show? I shall repeat that question for you. What is the basis of judging different breed dogs in an all breed dog show? Option one, looks. Option two, breed standard. Once again, option one, looks, and option two, breed standard. So kindly drop in your comments with the right options, and we, of course, will pick the winners at the end of the session. All right, so back to you, Amrut. Is training your dog in general different from training your dog for a dog show?
Well, though the principles is the same, the objective is very different. To put more light on that, training a dog for a domesticated purpose or a general purpose is as far as a dog can come to us or come inside the door or inside the gate when we call them, recall them. They run out of the gate or they run out of a house and we like call Tommy, Tiger, Ruby, whoever and come, and as far as they come, that's fair. But when we get to the obedience show, they've got to come right in front of us with their head in between our knees or their snout, their muzzle between the knees, and going to sit right in front of us. So there is a little bit of shaping done there. Or even with the sit, for us a sit could be sit in front of you, sit to your right, left, how, whatever degree, but there it should be on the heel. So it's going to be to your left, it's going to sit next to you as close as possible. Touch healing is not much in KCI yet practice, that comes with the PSA sports. But then yes, so what the tricks taught, whether it's come, sit down, stay, leave, stuff like that, would always be the same. And even with retrieving, you can get your dog to retrieve your shoes, your keychain, your mobile phone, whatever, at domestic purpose, as far as it's bringing a bowl when it's hungry or a leash when it wants to go for a walk. But there again, I did mention dumbbell a couple of times. For whatever good or bad reason, the kennel clubs have made it mandatory that it's a dumbbell that the dog's going to go and bring from a distance. So it's not that we just throw it somewhere far away, especially in a dog show, it could go hit somebody's head. So we have the ring, so it's going to, and it's a wooden dumbbell, so it's going to go there at the mark, and the dog's going to bring it back and not leave it in front of us. At home, leaving as far as what you're chewing itself is a great deed, but here it's going to come in front of us and drop it when we hold it, or ask him to drop it when before we hold it, and he drops it to our hand. So it's, the principle is the same. Like I said, the objective would vary a little bit to make it more specific. It's like writing an answer, or I would put it this way for the best understanding: an oral test taken by a mother or a tuition teacher to a written test taken by a teacher. So you could tell the answer is right, but your spelling mistakes or your punctuations aren't marked there, which is in the exam when you write it down. So that's the difference between the two.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. And also, there's an extension I would like to ask you, Amrit, from Jyoti Raj Verma, because it's part of what you just answered as well. Is it important to have a fixed schedule of training with my dog, or can it be done at any time throughout the day? That's a great question.
It could be done anytime throughout the day as per the dog's convenience, depending on their breed, their drives, their energy levels, as well as that should match yours. If you're an early riser, then yeah, you're energetic in the morning and so is the dog, could probably be easier. But if the same dog is left out to guard all during the night and the dog's running around your campus or your compound, and early morning he wants to just take his meal and rest, and you're energetic because you woke up in the morning, it's not going to balance. So this is tailor-made solution depending on the breed, depending on the dog and the energy levels. But then keeping a fixed, I would not always mention keep a fixed schedule. It need not be 8 a.m. every morning or 6 p.m. every evening. You could change it accordingly, because different training done at different times would also help the dog to learn better, and it helps the owner or the trainer there to understand what time of the day this dog is giving best results, he's most keen in learning. So that could be repeated, and even then do not keep it very scheduled, because we don't want, see, dogs are classical learners, so they have their own biological clock. They know this time training happens. When you puzzle it is when you get amazing results that you never expected. So when you're training, kindly do train them in rain, even if it's you're not drenching in the rain. Could be in your portico, which is a covered portico. Could be during sunny. Could be during Diwali as well. So different time of the year, different seasons of the year. The more you train at different times, the better results you would get.
Okay, so you're saying don't keep a fixed training schedule. Whenever the dog is ready to train is when,
And
we
so
should
are you.
look at
So
that.
are you, because the dog's
All
going to
right.
follow your energy as well.
Of course, of course. Thank you for that. So, Manjunath, many dog parents think of participating in dog shows but don't have the complete information regarding the requirements to enter these shows. So, can you please explain the criteria and the basic requirements needed to participate in the shows?
As Amrut mentioned earlier, firstly, a dog should be registered with the Kennel Club of India and microchipped. So, in case if you already have a KCI papers with microchip, then and definitely it will be a breed, and definitely you are good to go. In case if your dog doesn't have a history or a paper, history of parents or a papers, but still you can also register by filling a single dog registration form. Like if your dog is a pure breed, even in a mixed breed also can be registered, but they can participate only in obedience trials, as I told you earlier. So what happens? You can reach out to the local club secretaries. So what happens is a judge or a club secretary will give an opinion certificate, and a vet will certify the health of the dog, and it will be sent to the Kennel Club of India. So the KCI will send you the papers and with the microchip, and you can get microchip with a local vet. This is for the all breed shows. For obedient shows, as I mentioned, including indies, stray dogs, participate. They can participate, but they should also be registered with KCI and can participate only in obedient shows and not in all breed shows or even specialities. So even for this, the registration process is the same as I mentioned. So coming to the criteria, in order to register your dog, I request you to reach out to the local club secretaries. That's one thing you can have to do. And in all breed shows, the criteria is like you can all breed shows is divided into several classes which are based on either age of exhibit or prior qualification. So coming, to 8 classes, for a dog or a bitch can participate, namely like minor puppies. If a puppy is, between 4 to 6 months, they all come in minor puppy class. So in the same way, we have puppy class where it is 7 to 12 months. We have a junior class where dogs or bitches from 13 to 18 months can participate, and an intermediate class which are falling from 19 to 36 months. So these are the different classes we have. We have another 3 classes which is called bred in India class. Dogs which are bred in India, irrespective of age, even if it is a puppy, even if it is a 6 years dog or whatsoever, they can participate in this class. And also in the open class, one more class we have is that's also irrespective of age. The reason why we mention, have this bred in India class to promote our local, bred in India dogs, because we can import a dog and can show, but the credibility of a person who is breeding a top quality dog will fade away. So that's the reason we have this class. The last class which I mentioned about the player qualification is a champion class. So a dog which has won the 3 challenge certificates under 3 different judges, they can participate in champion class irrespective of sex. It may be dog or a bitch. So the main criteria in the orbit shows are dog's conformation, as I told you. Its overall appearance, temperament, and structure. So the judges will be looking for the characteristics that allow the dog to perform the function for which they are bred for. In obedience class, as Amrut completely mentioned it, we have 6 classes, C1 to C6, and we have one more class which is C7, which is the companion dog title, where KCA will be giving a companion dog title certificate. So companion dog is what is a title where we certify that okay, this dog is a good companion, and it's very easy steps, very easy exercises, what an already Amrut mentioned. So one criteria I would like to mention for all the people is like in all breed shows, monarchid and cryptorchid dogs can't participate. This is one thing. And in obedience shows, any dog registered with KCI can participate, including spayed and neuter dogs. But bitch in season is not allowed to participate in obedience classes. These are the very 2 main important things.
Important criteria. All right. Thank you so much for that. Amrut, are there some common tricks one should start teaching their dog for obedience shows? And I also would like to attach Ved Prakash Dhawan's question as well to this, because he says, I feel when training my lab, 8 months old lab, he's scared and trains only because I'm making him. Is this normal? And how can I ease nervousness?
Could you come again with the question?
Yeah, he is. So he's got an 8 month,
Perfect.
Labrador, and
Uh-huh.
he's scared and trains only because he is making him, train. So not really forcing him,
Perfect.
but he wants to train
I'll
his
come
lab,
there.
obviously.
I'll
So
come
he
there.
wants to know
Okay.
if this is normal and how can he ease his nervousness.
I'll,
So you
I'll,
can
I'll
either take this question, or you can start with the common tricks, or you can do that in the end after you take this
I'll
question.
start with the common tricks.
Yeah.
Common tricks, whether it is for the obedience show or it is for our domesticated purpose. The first and the most important thing we teach a dog is sit, and then come, and then down, and then heel with a leash, without a leash, stay. The sit and stay, down and stay. And last but not the least would be our retrieving things that the dog picks up, could be starting from your shoes, carpets, things like that, and it goes on to the dumbbell in the dog show. So the common teaching, or the common tricks that we need to teach your dog, regardless of whether for the show or otherwise, would be starting from the come, sit down, sit and stay, down and stay. If required, you can get them to sleep as well, as a common one. And then walking on heel without pulling, with a leash. And much later, if the dog's doing very good with the handlers practice, then get to without leash heel walking. This is as much as whether it's common or for the dog show, these would be the commands. Coming to the question asked by the gentleman there, I'm sorry I lost his name, the 8 months pet Labrador's parent. Well, see, I would take this opportunity to bring some light on the training methodology that has been there in probably the last 4 decades. So the probably between the 80s to 90s is when somebody had come down from Germany, trained all the police trainers or the armed forces or the civil. CRPF being India's biggest paramilitary force, I have mentioned they've got 1,400 plus dogs, and I take classes for them. The last 29th, 28th of December was my last class. So where 1,400 Belgian Malinois have been trained, and I always try to mention this because we need to give a lot of credits for these dogs. Till date, in the last 7 years, have discovered 3.5 ton of explosives. Unlike a lot of us watching movies, 300 kilos ka RDX Baramat hua and Akshay Kumar comes on an helicopter or Ajay Devgan in a Scorpio. Here, 3,500 3.5 ton of explosives have been detected by the CRPF dogs in the country. Now, because of that, let me get to the background. So those days, 4 decades ago, we had a training methodology of pushing, pulling, negative reinforcers put on the dog. Lot of ex or present servicemen still use the same methodology. So if something like that was utilized, that is what can bring in fear in the dog. That was the first school of thought. I'm talking about the 80s. And 90s came in when they used to use a little bit of push and pull, but also give them a treat. That's how it came. That also later was called the NEPOPO, negative, positive, positive. So one time I push my dog to sit, and the next 2 times when he sits, before I push, he gets a treat. And the third level of training that came in was using the treats and luring them. So take a treat, to bring it up his nose, he puts his bum down or he sits down, give him a treat, bring it down, let him go lie down and give him a treat. Where the dogs were trained from 2000 to 2010 almost across Asia, where the dogs were trained to follow the treat. And later came the latest method that we are using today. I'll get there. So what happened? What was the negative part of the first decade of training, that was between the complete 80s, 80 to 1980 to 1990, was that the dog used to do everything but to get rid of pain or agony or discomfort or fear. Was it right or wrong? Then it was right, because that was right then. A little better right from them, not very wrong, came in that they started also giving treats. Even better than them was to get the dog to follow the treats. And now what has happened is the dog, the last 10 years old method, dogs follow the treats. So if you don't have treats, they don't want to do it. So now it's come to a marker training, or probably marker is a word used. That's a bridge between the action to the treat. So you wait for the dog, be patient, get the dog to do it, or get him to do it once with a treat, and later have patience, wait, let him do it himself, then give him a treat. Get him to do down lowering once or twice, wait for him to do it, let him do it, and then either tell a yes or a good or a clicker or a whatever they're using, or a whistle and things like that, and then give him a treat. These sort of things have taken over, yet evolution has been happening. I won't be surprised if 40 years from now people would say that what we did today was outdated, was inhuman, and they've got something even bigger and better. So either which way, so that's how this has come in. So now, if going back to the question, if the dog is getting scared, then there is something which we are doing, which is a negative, which for the dog turns out to be a negative reinforcer. Probably the way we are handling the dog, or the way we are telling a command, could be we have a treat, the best treat in our hand luring, but it's like, sit. The dog's like, what happened? I didn't expect that out of you. So getting your dog to do a lot of things in a calm, docile way, because like a lot of people say, it should be calm and assertive, calm and assertive, calm and assertive, and not calm and aggressive. So the way we are talking, who's going to teach you, where you're learning things, and make your dog He's a Labrador at the end of the day. That's the best part. And they're super food driven dogs. They're not just food driven dogs. They're super food driven. No, not super food. They're super in drives for food. So every time you want to give him whatever he wants to eat, change the time of your training, because somebody did ask, should there be a schedule, what's the right time of the day to train the dog? Please keep for this dog, see to it that he's hungry before you feed him, and every time you feed him, rather than giving him your food in the bowl, give it in your hand and get him to do tricks while you're giving. So there are two things happening. Slowly he has to classically condition himself that I will only get food inside my system when I do these tricks. So the tricks turn out to be the come, sit down, sleep. So you're training him during his meal times, so it's going to help him learn. And the next time you call him or he gets to know you're going to train him, rather than being scared, he should be drooling. So you would slowly condition him from the fear to what he loves the most. Being a Labrador, he should be super excited about food. But again, it depends on the food given as well. If the food is kept waiting for the dog, if the food's waiting for the dog, he will lose value on the food as well. Dog should wait for the food, and that's when the food comes in. You could probably discontinue homemade food for a while and use something like Purina Pro Plan, because it's easy to handle and hand over a few kibbles every trick he does. So like 10 kibbles for come, 10 for sit, 10 for down, 10 for sleep. So you finish the amount of kibbles, but then he's happy that he had his meal, learning the tricks and practicing the same. Slowly move it out from the feeding zone to different parts of your house, so he gets to know that he has to obey everywhere. And please stop the moment the food is over, and do not practice when you don't have food for the first few weeks. Otherwise, he will only do it when there's food. So there should be a very slow, and the way you bring him out of treats and put him into the command should be very gradual and slowly.
Great. In fact, I want to ask you on the similar lines. Kavita has actually sent in a message. My dog does not listen to me if I don't have food or treats in my hand. But as soon as I pick up a treat, he starts obeying every command. What? Why is that?
That's because, like I told you, you would have trained them in the method that was done from 2000 to 2010 in the world or in India. So you did train him with the treats, and suddenly, just because he did the sit or the down twice, you stopped. If Kavita, we have to go back and understand, we got a 10 mark for one slanting line. I'll get back to it. A slanting line, write one slanting line correctly, joining the dots, we got 10 marks. Another slanting line, we got another 10 marks. Then a sleeping line, it became A, then we got 10 marks. So this 10-10 was given 10 times for us to write just an A. Today we just go on writing. So the way we're going to stop, when you're going to motivate your dog, you're using positive techniques, you should come out of the treat very slowly, because the first time we wrote an A, if madam, our teachers or ma'ams, whoever never gave us the mark the next time we wrote, we wouldn't have been writing today. So it has to be gradually brought down. Today, now after I told, a lot of us would have realized, oh yes, no, we write, we don't get marks. We put the right spelling, we don't get marks. Exactly. So we didn't even know that they stopped giving us marks and we continue doing the right things. So this is how slowly you'll have to do it. 4 times your dog does a sit with a treat. 5th time there's a guest. Dekho, dekho, mere kutta mera itna acha baat sunta hai. Come here, come here, come here. It's just like boys in the house, बेटा उसके वो बाबा फ्लैगशिप बोलो, बेटा ये बोलो, वो राइम बोलो, ये बोलो, चाचा आया, मामा आया. So don't use your dog as a demo in front of people. Let the dog understand to obey very well because of food, if you're using food. And by the time you come out of the food treat, your attention, your love, your petting should have brought you should have brought in so much value in your petting that even if food is not there, the dog should obey you for your petting. Now, when you do a lot of petting for your dog, it's like cuddling your dog and then asking your dog to do something. He would not want to do it. Is cuddling wrong then? No. Cuddling is perfectly right. Please do it. Just before you do it, ask him to do something. So every time, if you have to gradually come out of food, you'll have to come out, gradually get into giving them love and affection and build the value. The lesser you give attention, the more they value it. And every time you want to give them affection or attention, get them to do something just before you pet them. That should do the needful.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Amrut, for that. They explained it so well, and I hope it makes sense to whoever's asked those 2 questions, Himanshu, and I forgot that other person's name. Yeah, I hope that makes sense to you. In fact, the next question I would like to pose to Manjunath. Noori asks, for small dogs like Yorkie, what kind of selection is involved during the whole process?
What kind of selection? Either in the all breed shows or the
Yeah, is involved during the whole process.
Yorkshire, Yorkshire
Yorkie,
Terrier.
yeah.
Yeah. The very basic idea is almost standard. Standard is like, we have a Yorkshire, breed standard where you can log into FCI website and you can check the height, like the weight, the coating, Yorkshire, coating, how it should be. Like, it's all about completely about a breed standard. There is nothing, much. It's all completely given in Yorkshire Terrier breed standard. But the answer, like,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you got stuck there. Yeah. So I hope, Nouri, that answers your question. And before we take in more questions, I also have to ask you one more before we get to the trivia question. Amrut, I have a Labrador and he's 8 years old, Himanshu, and he's good at obeying commands. Is this age suitable for him to participate in a dog show? Manjunath, I would like you also to add to this. He's 8 years old.
definitely you can participate in the shows. It may be obedience or speciality or even all bit shows. You can definitely participate. It's all about how he is maintaining the condition. And for obedience, it's all about how it works, how exactly is working. So there is no age limit. And that's the reason we have open class where any, irrespective of age, any dog can participate.
Awesome. Amrut, would you like to add?
Perfect. Being a KCI member, he knows better, and he's a ring steward as well.
Of
So
course.
any age, yes. Like Shakespeare said, an old dog can be taught new tricks. So one, teaching can be done, as well as the kennel club is open enough for the open class, like he said. I think it's class C, no? If I'm not wrong, no, not class C.
The
Open
obedience
class.
is open
Yeah,
class. It's an open class only. In class
open
information,
class.
it's an open
Right,
class.
open class. So yes, they can. He can surely participate, and we wish him all the
Nice.
best of luck.
And also, Aishwarya says, how difficult is it to train an adopted street dog? I had difficulties in making my dog obey my commands.
See, one, it depends on the age you've adopted. Is the question for me or for Manjunath?
You can take it, Amrut. I mean,
Okay.
Manjunath can always add, no issues. So
Perfect.
she's got
I
an
just started
adopted
off
street
without
dog.
because I'm pet fed is this is the first time we've had two. It was always me. So the moment you finished, I was eager to answer. So anyway, coming back, yes, it could be difficult because of the past the dog has had. Like I said, the age we adopted it. If it was a puppy that was adopted just after weaning it between 3 to 9 weeks, 6 to 9 weeks, then it wouldn't have been that difficult because see the dog would have trust issues primarily because we do not know the history most of the times, and most of the time the history that is given by whoever was fostering or who was helped you adopt the pet may not always be true. It's not that somebody's going to lie. They would have collective information from collective people that they would be giving, so which it's more like the Chinese whispering, so it would end up with a different perspective of what we hear perception. So here, yes, indies if adopted at a later age would be a little difficult. So I would suggest that give more time to win over the trust of the dog. Once the dog is very very comfortable with you, by then you can understand what is the most motivating thing for the dog or what is the dog most interested with. Could be toy, could be food, need not always be food, could be love, could be petting. So there could be something that the dog wants. So once you understand what the dog enjoys the most, then as a smart human being, hold that back, get your tricks done, and start giving it in installments so you get your dog to be trained easily.
That's super. Manjunath, you want to add?
I'm good. He's completely, covered
Awesome.
everything.
Okay, so we give you a break now for just a couple of seconds because it's time for the next trivia question. Is the dog's grooming an important part of judging a dog in a dog show? I'll repeat that. Is the dog's grooming an important part of judging a dog in a dog show? Your options are one, true, option two, false. Simple, option one, true, option two, false. Kindly share your answers in the comments section. So back to Manjunath. So how much of a role does socialization play in preparing your dog to win dog shows and its importance? Socialization.
Socialization
Yeah.
is a very vital part. So for proper mental and social development in dogs, socialization is much needed, and it needs to be offered properly. So dog socialization, including making your dog stress-free with a variety of people and different environments and circumstances. Most of the people just think socialization is dog to dog, dog to humans. No, it's not that. Socialization is all about introducing them to new surfaces, new environment, new places, everything. So the benefit and the advantage are not only for your dog, it is also for you too. like all the owners. So a couple of other things like mistakes in socialization, in early mistakes, whatever they do, even if intentions are good, also can backfire and may even produce an overly shy or over aggressive dog. So particularly in shows, so a well-maintained or groomed dog, which is as per the standard, shows shyness or aggressiveness, the dog will not be qualified or fail in the respective class, as it won't allow the judge to examine. Imagine a dog is not socialized at all with humans, because whenever you take most of the people, what they do is they think, okay, let me take your dog show. For the first time, they will enter the ring. So dog will be like exposed to a lot of new dogs, new smells, so many people, crowd, everything. So socialization plays a major role. In obedience shows, we have an exercise named, as Amrut mentioned, we have a temperament test where this is very simple test where judge will go through the body, body of the entire dog to just check the temperament of the dog. In case if the dog is not socialized with humans, again the dog fails by being maybe aggressive, by being growling to the towards the judge or whatsoever. So judge will excuse the dog from judging. So, if any case of non-socialized dogs comes to your dog show, they will witness, as I told so many other dogs, and they'll be definitely anxious and cannot perform their best. So, early socialization plays a very important role in dog shows.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that. Socialization is important. In fact, I think you did answer this question, but we've got Yatish who says, how do we get KCI certificate for the indie breed? Which I do remember you said it's open only for the obedience category. But
No,
he
the
wants to know,
papers is common. KCI paper is common for any breed. KCI will give the papers, but they can participate only in obedience shows. What I request, I forgot the name of a gentleman. So what you can do is you can reach out to, reach out to me or reach out to the local clubs, local, club secretaries. So where he has to fill a single dog registration. If he doesn't have a dog, paper already, you have to fill a single dog registration form where a judge over there in the local, state or the city will evaluate, will give the opinion certificate, and also a vet will give it as a vet certificate that will be sent to KCI. And KCI will dispatch the paper with the microchip. It's a very simple process, just filling a one
awesome.
form. You can get the
Yeah.
form in KCI website.
Yes. So, Yatish, please do get in touch with Manjunath and also the details he just shared with you. Amrut, how does one start preparing their dog and themselves for these shows if they're just starting the training?
I would get to that, before which I this is something which I also do not have much knowledge on. The previous question, like Yatish asked, it is an indie. So would I have not seen a paper
Yes.
that says an Indian mongrel or an thing.
It's a
So
mix. Yeah. We give it as an
yeah,
indie. Yes.
it'll be a mix.
Yes, we give
Perfect.
it as an indie.
As an indie. Perfect. I
Yes.
hadn't seen that. That's why I wanted a clarification. Perfect. Thank you very much. Now coming back to, we would require, I would suggest that the owners primarily start visiting a lot of dog shows even before they plan to get their dog, understand what it is, how things go, understand the groups, understand their breed, then get their dog even before participation. As in, even if you do not want to enter the show ring or you want to participate, get your dog in and around the place, let them understand how things are. It is just like what normally does happen. It's like I have a beach at my backyard, so I'm running on the sand, and it's common sense that a person who can run on sand can run on track. So I give a very good timing, and then they enter the last day of the competition during running. It makes it easy for people to understand. That's why I'm telling. The moment there's a gunshot, this person's going to run in the backward direction towards the gate, because it's the first time he ever saw a gun, and he doesn't even know he has to go bend down in a running race, athletic race. Similarly, what happens is that how much ever you practice with your dog at the backyard, your dog does not know what is a mic announcement. You do not know where you have to go. You do not know that there's a vet check done. Your dog should be comfortable, especially male dog should be very comfortable with the veterinary doctor checking them thoroughly. And then when you come into the ring, the dog has always done brilliant stacking alone. But will this dog be able to stack in front of another male and in behind another male, or a bitch in front of a female and behind another female? Running, see, for a dog, they're all driven animals. They're super driven animals. So if you're making a dog run behind another dog, pretty obvious that this dog today understand I have to hold the dog, I have to catch the dog or chase the dog. Now that dog suddenly stops and stacks. So what do? Do I jump on the dog? Do I hump on the dog, what should I do? Because that's what the dog's always been doing. And majorly people have to understand, dogs are territorial animals. So today, one particular day, you just take them to a dog park or the dog show ground, where there are another 100 plus males, 100 plus females who pass urine to mark their territory. And the even bigger part is, most of them are dominating mating males. So it's becoming a more challenging thing for the dog to smell, mark his territory, show his there's androgen in him, that he has to show that, yeah, I'm a male dog, I'm in so and so, rather than being a part of the show. And the big this so get used to the shows. Primarily, owners or pet parents, or going to be pet parents, kindly visit showgrounds, understand what is happening there, because there could be multiple rings that is happening. Lucky we from the Bangalore, Manjunath is from the Mysore Kennel Club show, now known as the Silicon City Kennel Club. I'm from the Bangalore Canine Club, I'm the treasurer, and I think he's the MC there, or he's the treasurer there. So we together with our secretaries and presidents help. This is the first time in the history that Bangalore had a combined show. That's the Bangalore Canine Club show and the Silicon City show. So the number of dogs would be more there, number of rings are more there. A lot of them do not know what group that the dog falls into. So there's an announcement telling pastoral group ring number 4, pastoral group ring number 4, working group ring number 3. A lot of them don't know. They still, I have a mastiff, I have a Bernard, so that's going to be a giant group. Or I have a toy breed, so is it a terrier or is it the toy? So they don't know about it. So be there, educate yourself much before, then bring your dogs, get them used to the place, get them used to the smell. Even the previous evening, taking your dog to the showground if allowed, getting them to smell around, staying there for a couple of minutes and coming back also makes a lot of difference for you. Also, you know, water is available, toilet is available, water is not there, is it a shaded place, it's not shaded, are there restaurants around? There are a lot of things you will also be learning if you can visit the showground the previous evening, and socialize your dog much before they get into a stage that they would enter the ring to compete.
Absolutely stunning. Thank you so much for that. Makes a lot of sense, especially socialization is important. If, like you just mentioned, if they do allow and permit, then it would be great to get your dogs on ground. Thank you so much, Amrut, for that. All right, we are down to our final question, the third one, and here it goes. Socializing a dog does not have any impact on winning a dog show. Once again, socializing a dog does not have any impact on winning a dog show. Option one, true, and option two, false. I hope you were listening to both our experts very intently, because they did mention a lot on this. One, true, two, false. Kindly put in your comments in the comments section. All right. So Manjunath, how do we stay updated regarding the upcoming dog shows, in our areas? And which city or place in our country conducts the biggest obedience trials with a lot of entries?
Okay, to answer your first question, the
Sure.
only source which gives all the updates on the show dates and breed information, and which is very informative, is the Indian Kennel Gazette, which is the monthly magazine that is breed specific. So every month we feature a different breed, such as Labrador, this month January, February German Shepherds, in March Indian breeds, in April Pomeranians, Shih Tzus, and so on. So we will cover the particular breed standard, grooming requirements, methods of grooming for that particular breed, common health issues of that particular breed, answered by top veterinarians of a country and abroad too, and training articles, behavioral issues of dogs and solutions for those behavioral issues, interviews with renowned breed specialists, obedience, what to say, enthusiasts, and results of very popular dog shows in the world, like World Dog Show, Crufts, Westminster, Seeger shows, and all the details of the dog show, where exactly the dog show held in our country. Everything will get it in this magazine, which is around 130 to 150 pages of magazine. And this occasion, I would really thank Mr. C.V. Sudarshan, the editor of the IKG, who is spending a lot of time and effort for bringing the best issue month after month. And I can, in one word, I can say it is one step for all the information on dogs, and it's appreciated by foreign delegates and overseas breed specialists. You can subscribe. Anyone can subscribe the Indian Kennel Gazette, which is very minimal cost, and you can subscribe by filling a form in the Kennel Club of India website, and you can get to know all the information. Coming to the second question, what was the question? Can you come again?
Sure, sure. Which city or place in our country conducts the biggest obedience trials with a lot of entries?
It is Jamshedpur, club. So where Jamshedpur is run by Tata Steels. So I would like, to thank for the interest of Miss Ruchi Narendran, who's Narendran is the MD of the Tata Steels, and she's the president of Jamshedpur Kennel Club. With her interest and Mr. Gopal Prasad Chowdhury, who's the vice president, and also the secretary, Mr. Sudipto Sakar, they show a lot of interest. And in particular in Jamshedpur, we get 150, sometimes 130 to 150 dogs, where I can say is a obedience carnival. So that is the biggest show in our country, which I've witnessed. And this is from not now, this is from long years. Well, even if they don't conduct all breed shows, also that's when they will definitely conduct obedience shows. I can say it is a hub of obedience trials in our country.
Yes. Jamshedpur. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that, Manjunath. So, Amrut, are there any specific training techniques one needs to know that can help, their dog to win?
Training techniques is common, but if you want your dog to win, there is other techniques that's more important. I would want to mention here. The moment you enter the dog show, whether it is all breed or breed standard show, or it is your obedience, it is your job to be with your dog rather than going around seeing other dogs. That is not what you're here for. Your dog needs you to be by them. Very, very important, because you're there for your dog's winning and not for any other dog's winning. One. Second very important thing is to stand by and observe what the judge wants to see. Every judge is very different. They have different bringing up. Thanks to the Kennel Club and thanks to people like Manjunath, who write about judges, where you can understand what their growing up was, what breed they started showing, which country they came from, what are their interests. And what do I mean by what does the judge want to see? Sir, the judge wants to see the dog, that's why he's the judge. Absolutely. What in the dog? Is it the confirmation? Is it the movement? Is it the rapport between the dog and the owner? Is it the dressing sense of the owner? Is it the comfort of the dog? Is it the shyness of the dog? There are a lot of things that a judge would look at, and you are there to judge the judge. Stand there, observe the judge. What does he want to see in my dog? Every dog has a silver lining. Similarly, every dog may have another concern. So you need to know what you need to show the judge. Some judges may be comfortable talking to the handlers. Some judges won't even look at the handler's face. They're only looking at the dog. What? The stacking, the movement, what you understand. There's a judge who normally says triangle. So you're so excited when your dog is there that he's telling triangle, you go a straight line and come back. The judge is like, he doesn't even want to look at you, because you have one, two, three, four of your dogs. He's looking at 400 dogs, right? So he's also a human being and he has enough on him that day to do. So understand what the judge wants to see and then show them the best in your dog, what they want to see. That is what helps you to win. More important is when you start the tricks of training, like Melody did ask me. When you're training your dog or even post training your dog, give them the treat, give them what you've got, the bait. Everybody is just showing the bait, showing the bait, showing the bait, and not giving it. Or they had given it till yesterday, and today, the moment you went into the show ring, even next to the show ring, if you're waiting at the ring steward, give them a piece of a bait. Let them know that I may get it next. You show it every day in your house and you come there, you don't give him a bait. He's like it, he's a dog. Damn it. He's not a fool. He's like, you don't have anything in hand. What you're showing your hand like this, you don't have anything there. So I'm sure you won't give anything. So I don't have to perform like I performed last evening in your backyard. Let them know that they are going to get reinforced. That's important. So that is so before you celebrate, you need to participate. So during your participation, understand what the dog, why I went there is, then you tell your dog, good dog, and you're very happy and you come out. Get your dog to stack again outside the ring after your turn. Give him a treat again. Let him know that this is not the end of my life. There is another ring I'll be called in the next 10 minutes. The moment you finish this ring, you celebrate, tell the dog it's over. And then another announcement, ring number 3, they're calling for working dogs. After Doberman boxes, line up at working dogs. So again, you take the dog's like, it was over. No, you pet me, you loved me, it was over. I think it was over. Now, why am I taking again? He'll start peeing at the ring pole, right? And then he gets disqualified for things like that. So please, owners, it is not the dog who loses there. It is your mistake that ends up for the dog to lose. Kindly to understand, it makes no sense for the dog with the challenge certificate, CC, three CCs from different judges, one CC after 1 year, give it to KCI, they will give you championship certificate. None of that matters for him, or the trophies we carry home. We celebrate in the evening. They don't. They are again given the same food, put it back to the same kennel. So for them, there is no celebration there. It is we who need to understand it's not the dog to be blamed later that he didn't win. It is you to be blamed that you did not observe what in the dog you were supposed to show. So this is the trick of the game. So understand what they want to see. Learn that. Motivate your dog. Keep and be with your dog. You being with your dog itself is a great motivation for him. Thank you.
Awesome. I think we all need to give Amrut a round of applause wherever we are. But Manjunath and Amrut, so well structured, the entire process, so well shared with all of us. A big, big thank you to you. And I hope it answers everyone's questions. And of course, it's time for me to announce the winners. But before that, I'll give you the right answers to the questions. First one was, what is the basis of judging different breed dogs in an all breed dog show? You had two options. Option one was looks, and option two, breed standard. Of course, option two is the right answer, breed standard. The second question was, is the dog's grooming an important part of judging a dog in a dog show? You had two options. One, true. Option two, false. It's the correct one is option one, true. And your final question was, socializing a dog does not have an impact on winning a dog show. Option one, true. Option two, false. The correct answer, of course, is option two, false. And congratulations from today's trivia contest, Aishwarya, Pragya, and Kanchan Bandari. Congratulations to all the winners. Make sure that you DM your complete details to the Purina Pro Plan India page. That's the Facebook page. So congratulations and taking part. And of course, thank you for all your wonderful messages and comments that came in. So before we, say our final goodbyes, I would like Amrut, you need to answer this quick question, which was asked on the Purina Pro Plan page. So the question was, is treats considered bribery? One is yes, and two is no. So could you please let everybody know the right answer?
Two. Option number two. It's no. It's not a bribe.
No.
It's an incentive.
Correct. Thank you so much and congratulations. And of course, time's up, and it's been such an informative session as always with you, Amrut, and of course, Manjunath as well. Great inputs from both of you, our experts, and helping us understand so much more about dog shows and how to train your dog to be a winner. Also, thank you, pet parents, who joined us and the ones who participate in the session and got their questions answered, and hope we are able to help you in some way. Parting words from both our experts, Manjunath.
Thank you very much, Melody. It was nice, talking to everyone. And I think I was a little helpful to answering, people's question. And it is good to be with Amrut every time. Thanks, everyone.
Wonderful, Amrut. You've become a regular, so everybody knows you now. We'd like
Thank
Manjunath
you,
also to become
Purina
a
Pro
regular.
Plan and PetFed, on behalf of all the listeners as well. And I would request to have more, because this has turned out to be very, very informative. Not we used earlier, when we did only the breeds, we had lesser number of people logging in or viewing or sharing or even questioning. Like the last time to this time, there have been the amount of people who are participating seems to have multiplied. So that's a big part of a good thing for us. So it's going to be informative. And so kindly continue the good work, and do help pet owners learn more, so that the
Thank
dogs are
you so
not
much.
blamed.
Exactly.
Good point
Thank you
here.
so much.
I'd like to add a point, Melody, saying
Yes.
Program is doing really good one, good initiative, and keep going. It's really nice, educating people.
Thank you so much, Manjunath, for that. And of course, to the ones who've missed it, don't worry. These live sessions are going to be a regular affair, and we will be covering different topics each time. Meanwhile, you can watch this entire video on Purina's Facebook page, Purina Pro Plan India. So thank you once again for everybody who joined in. It was a marvelous session. And on behalf of PetFed India and Purina Pro Plan India, this is Melody saying, have a great Friday and a weekend. Stay safe and mask up as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.